Celebrating my hero, ndugu yangu Raila Amolo Odinga.
Mambo bado. Mambo bado.
If there is one person who is not sleeping comfortably tonight, it is President William Ruto. Because what happened in Bondo today was not just a memorial visit, not just a cultural gesture, and not just a political courtesy. It was a statement, and a loud one for that matter. A signal that the politics of 2027 may not be the walkover the president has recently looked confident about. Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka traveled to the home of late Raila Odinga, the Opoda farm in Bondo, accompanied by a group of senior opposition leaders. And unlike some politicians who go with promises and microphones, Kalonzo arrived the way Luo tradition respects, with cattle, a symbol of honor, loyalty, and brotherhood. Reports say it was around 100 cattle delivered to the Odinga homestead, a gesture rarely seen in modern politics. It was not simply respect, it was heritage. The gesture carried weight, emotional weight, symbolic weight, and most importantly, political weight. But what is making State House twitch slightly is not just the cattle, it is the reception. Because the same crowd that cried, mourned and celebrated Raila Odinga's legacy did not gather today as lost or directionless followers. They gathered behind one man who has been standing next to Raila consistently for over a decade, Kalonzo Musyoka.
Thank you. Thank you. Kwa sababu ya wakati tuketi. Joey.
It is no secret that Raila's absence has left a massive vacuum in national politics. He was not just a candidate, he was a movement, a political institution, a full emotional system. The question since his passing has been, who carries that movement forward? Who commands that loyalty? Who understands that history, that language, that rhythm? For a while, the answer looked uncertain. ODM and Azimio appeared quiet, reflective, almost frozen, partly in grief, also partly in strategy. Meanwhile, Ruto's political machinery seemed to assume that 2027 would be simpler now. One major opponent gone, one main narrative dissolved, one mountain already climbed. But Bondo today may have already changed that calculation. Because when Siaya Governor James Orengo stood up to speak, his message was sharp and clear. He said, and I quote, "If there is a man left in this country with the integrity of Raila Odinga, then that man is Kalonzo Musyoka." End of quote.
Been in many meetings where people were discussing about who is going to be the candidate. And three times, Kalonzo has said, nakuachia wewe ndugu yangu Raila. In 2013, in 2017, and in 2022 where he said, I don't even need a position. If there's a principled man in Kenya, like Raila Amolo Odinga, is Kalonzo Musyoka.
That is not an ordinary statement. That is ODM's legal mind, strategist, and one of Raila's closest political loyalists making a direct political alignment. And if that wasn't already enough, Mama Ida Odinga spoke too, not as a politician, not as a strategist, but as the heart of the Odinga family. Her words were simple and very deliberate. Kalonzo Musyoka was a true friend of Raila Odinga. He stood with Baba for many years, and that friendship will not be wiped out.
Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka has been a friend of Baba for many years. And that friendship cannot be wiped out. Cannot.
In Kenyan politics, friendship is not just emotional, it is currency. Endorsement is not just spoken, it is inherited. So, the message landing today in political circles is that ODM may actually be preparing to push Kalonzo forward, not as a deputy, not as a backup, not as a co-principal, but as the presidential candidate. And this is where Ruto's worries begin. Because if there is one thing the president has repeated publicly, it is that the only politician he considered serious enough to challenge him in 2027 was Raila Odinga. And that statement was made often, not as flattery, but as political positioning.
Yaani mtu ningeshingana na yeye ni Raila Odinga. Lakini sasa hawa nitawamalizia asubuhi na mapema. Very early in the morning. Wamepotea.
Ruto wanted to define the battlefield, himself versus Raila, one-on-one, narrative versus narrative, hero versus hero. But now the battlefield may be shifting. Kalonzo is not Raila, and that is precisely the challenge. He comes with his own networks. He comes with his own reputation for diplomacy and calm politics. He comes with votes from regions Ruto has not comfortably cracked: the lower eastern bloc, coastal alliances, parts of western Kenya, and increasingly Luo Nyanza, which may rally around him out of historical loyalty. And unlike Raila, Kalonzo is not polarizing. He's not the type to be turned into a villain in political messaging. Kenya has no Kalonzo hate cult. At worst, people once thought he was too soft. Now, with legacy backing, that softness is being reinterpreted as patience, loyalty, endurance, and statesmanship. It is becoming harder to attack someone who just delivered cows to honor a friend. Meanwhile, in Bondo, the crowd told its own story. Chants, songs, slogans, cheers all showed something very clear. The opposition is awakening. And not through rallies or protests, but through sentiment, through memory, through unity, which is far more powerful. Because politics is not always decided in parliament and campaign offices. Sometimes, politics is decided at graves, at funerals, at moments where historic forces people to choose continuity or change. And today, it looked like Nyanza chose continuity, not by replacing Raila's personality, but by continuing his political direction through Kalonzo Musyoka. ODM now faces a defining decision. Do they honor the loyalty Raila valued most? Do they step aside and say, this time we back Kalonzo? Or do they attempt to reorganize internally and risk fractures? For now, the message from the ground, from the leaders, and from the symbolism of the day is that Kalonzo may be the man being prepared to walk onto the presidential ballot in 2027. And that is where the turbulence in State House comes in. If Kalonzo runs, and runs with the unified Raila base, Ruto faces not just a candidate, but an entire emotional legacy, a memory, a movement, a promise unfinished. And history has shown in this country, you do not underestimate grief, you do not underestimate loyalty, and you do not underestimate a people still holding a dream. So yes, tonight the mood in Bondo was warm, but the echo of that warmth is cold inside Kenya's highest office, because 2027 is no longer looking like an easy race. It is looking like a contest. Thank you so much guys for watching. If you have loved this video, please subscribe to my channel. My name is the commentator, mjukuu wake Papa Francis. Unanitafuta, hamunipati. Bye bye.